Holy shit. It's already week 10, guys, which is absolutely insane to think about. It is crazy to think about that 10 weeks ago today was the first life advice video. And 10 weeks later, we've talked about some amazing topics, and today is going to be no exception. But first, I just want to say happy holidays to everybody. I know that last week was Thanksgiving, and I just want to say thank you all so much for the amazing support on that last video. It is currently growing to be the fastest growing life advice video that I've ever put out, and that means a lot to me. And I just want to remind everybody that I'm thankful for all of you, and I also just want to say that I hope that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And guess what? We're already coming up on Christmas and Hanukkah. If you choose to celebrate, I hope that you have a wonderful, safe holiday with your family. Over here, I'm sipping on some eggnog. I'm really excited. I love this time of year. Like I mentioned last week, I just really enjoy the holidays, being able to see family, relaxing. I don't have exams. I don't have all these things going on. It's just a great time of the year. And also, I would like to apologize for the shitty gameplay. I recorded this gameplay about 20 minutes ago, and I'm running on about 2 hours of sleep, and I've been up since 4:30. So, I'm tired. Future me, how's it looking? How's it looking, dude? Anyways, boys, we're gonna hop right into this video. But before we do that, I would just like to mention that if you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It lets us know that you are enjoying the content, and it also tells us that you guys are enjoying the content. It's free, and you can always change your mind. Anyways, boys, enough delays. It's time to get right into it. And this week, we are gonna kind of take a bit of a nice chill topic, because I don't know, the last few weeks we've been kind of talking into some more deep topics, but today we're going to be kind of chilling out a little bit. We're going to be talking about how to get over your fears. So this one is going to be a little bit different today. I'm going to be telling you a little bit about my fears, some of the strategies that I use to get over my fears. So these fears can be all sorts of different things. It could be spiders. It could be something as simple as talking to that crush in your class. It could be public speaking. It could be all these things, right? And guess what my fear was? Public speaking. Isn't that really ironic? First of all, I'm sitting in front of a microphone talking confidently to you guys. Then also my other job, like I mentioned, I also speak in front of people almost all day, every single day. Isn't that just so funny how I landed here? It's a little wild to me. I think about that all the time. But the thing is that most fears are simply created in your mind, and we can get over those fears with a few simple tricks that we're going to be talking about in this video. Because guess what? Once again, the goal is to create sort of this great foundation that we have once again built on for the past 10 weeks with things like motivation, drive, confidence, all these different things that I have been telling you guys about. But this time, we're actually going to try to take care of one of our many faults that we have as humans, because nobody is perfect. There's only been one perfect person in this world. First of all, we're going to figure out what is that major fear that we want to work on. We're going to talk about mine with public speaking. So the thing is about public speaking is that I was always scared of sort of making myself look stupid, or sort of stuttering over my own words, or things like that, right? Because when you're up in front of people, unlike a video, I can't stop the video. I can't cut it out of the video. That's there forever. Everybody is going to remember that I was up there stuttering and making myself look stupid. Well, here's something for you. When it comes to public speaking, almost 99% of the time, nobody is going to remember your mistakes or that you even spoke in front of people. Now, there's like a few tiny exceptions, but if that's the exception, you are most likely not watching this video. You are a professional public speaker for somebody that, for example, is giving a TED Talk or something of that nature in sort of a field where you have been giving speeches and you've already been through this talk with yourself. Because in some regards, everybody has some sort of public speaking fear. I think that everybody has some sort of fear of sort of embarrassing themselves. Now, there's a few people like Q from Impractical Jokers that doesn't give a shit, but to some extent he still cares, and I can almost promise you at some point he did care. I've done stuff like that in public with my friends, and it's like at first when you do it, you feel like a jackass, but just the more that you do it, you feel more confident with it. And that's sort of the thing for speaking in public. A lot of the times, man, you just need to practice it, and you just need to do it once, right? And I'm not saying that your first time needs to be in a giant room or a giant setting. The first time could literally be in front of a pet, man. I think that's what I did for my first one, is literally just practice it in front of a pet. Just practice it, slowly building crowds, slowly bring in people that you trust, like a parent, parent, a friend, a guardian, whoever you want to bring in to sit in, listen to you give your sort of public speech, whatever it may be, whatever the topic may be, and sort of have them critique it. Maybe not even critique it, but just sort of hype you up, right? Because you're going to feel more confident the more people that you do it in front of, right? For example, the first time that I give a speech, I am always so nervous. If it's a new topic that I haven't talked about before, I am all of a sudden just stuttering and I'm confused, but then I practice it by myself or with my partner or whatever I'm doing, right? I could do it in front of my friends, I could do it in front of my webcam, whatever I choose to do, I am able to take control and decide that, hey, I'm not going to let this get to me. I'm going to do amazing. There's a reason that I'm giving this speech. You're not simply just giving a speech because you're some nobody, right? That's what I tell myself all the time. There's a reason why I'm standing up here speaking to all these freshmen. And like I just mentioned, where we were sort of talking about those speeches, we're going to shift gears a little bit. We're actually going to be talking about crushes a little bit. Let me tell you, especially if you're in middle school or high school, I absolutely know that feeling of having sort of feelings for somebody. You don't know how to express those feelings to somebody, and I can tell you almost the exact feeling that you are feeling. You are scared of what they're going to tell you, right? And I absolutely understand why this is a giant fear. Now, I'm going to give you two answers, because some people are going to be a little different, right? This is what I needed to hear. Don't be a little fucking pussy. Get up, be a fucking man, and do it. Just tell her. Tell them, whoever it is, if you were able to sort of take that big leap and tell them you're going to be able to get that off of your chest. And let me tell you, it's going to be super stressful and you're going to be nervous the whole time. But I can promise you, as soon as you say it or as soon as it's done, that feeling is just going to be lifted off of your chest and you are immediately going to feel great. Now, sometimes the outcome may not be great. Maybe she's like, nah, I'm not into you like that. You know what? We take it on the chin, we go get a milkshake with our buddies, and then we move on. That's what we do. And guess what? It's not the best experience in the world, especially with what this relationship may have been in your head, where you're like, this person is giving me signs towards that they are feeling the same way. Turns out they weren't. They were just being nice. They were just being friendly or whatever. We were just being crazy in our own minds, right? We do that a lot as gamers. We overthink sometimes and we make our own truths when it was not the truth. But what's important is that we don't simply lay down, get in a fetal position after one failure, man. Nah, dude. Got to get right back up. Take some time if you need it. Don't be afraid to go out, get some ice cream with your bros, whatever you got to do. We're going to have a great day tomorrow. I can almost promise you, you're going to forget about it. You're going to hop on with the boys tomorrow. You guys are going to play some Halo, and it's overall just going to be a great time between you and your buddies. A tip that's sort of more friendly, I guess, is what you could put it as, is that we are going to sort of practice this sort of engagement. And this may feel a little weird, and I get it, man. Talk to maybe another friend that you trust, or, maybe you want to practice it by yourself in privacy, which is also completely fair. Like we said, just practice that conversation that you want to have with that person that you were having feelings for, and just practice, just like the public speaking, right? The more that we practice it, the better that we are going to be. And trust me, man, there's going to be some times where you fail, and that's just how life is. But what's important is that those small failures in our life does not make us a loser at all. In fact, I would argue it almost makes us a winner. That's what sort of builds that complex of winners. When you look at some of the most rich people in the world and the most successful people in the world, they are not the type of people that only had zero failures. Maybe they messed up once or twice. Steve Jobs literally was kicked out of his own company that he started, and then they invited him back. Steve Jobs was one of the most powerful men in the world. When you look at people like Bill Gates that went through all types of different fucking issues throughout their life, you look at somebody like Jeff Bezos that was constantly harassed, constantly told that this business model of an online marketplace was never going to work. Look at Amazon today. Amazon is the biggest fucking thing in the world. We talk about Amazon all the time. People are constantly debating if Amazon is a monopoly, yada, yada, yada. There are plenty of questions when it comes to the legality of Amazon and what Amazon is doing as a whole. That's somebody that wasn't always a winner in his life. Another good one is Elon Musk. Elon Musk was literally told by astronauts that went on the moon that his ideas were stupid. Well, guess what? He proved them all fucking wrong now, didn't he? He's doing great. He's doing amazing things with his cars and his rocket ships. I'm happy for the man. And look, man, I get it. We're not shooting for Mars and we're not going to the moon. But what we are doing is that we are trying to get you some type of relationship going with this girl that you've been talking to or this girl that you've been thinking about. And what's important is to sort of have that mentality that even if this doesn't go the way that I wanted it to, it just wasn't meant to be, man. But guess what? We can't lay down and we got to take it on the chin and we got to move on. And overall, this is what I say to fears a lot of the time. When you have a serious fear, what's important is that you need to face that fear in some sort of way, right? And that can be in an emotional way, like we were talking about with the relationship stuff, or, with the public speaking, just telling yourself that you are going to do amazing, whatever it may be that you need to tell yourself or whatever you may do to prepare you to get over that fear. But what is important is that we are going to work to get over that fear, because everybody has some type of fear in their life, whether if that's financial, physical, health, whatever it may be. But what is important is figuring out, first of all, like I already mentioned, what is the issue at hand? What am I fearing? And then we need to start coming up with solutions to then beat the fear, right? Because that is super important. If we can beat the fear and we get ahead of the fear, we are then going to be able to do great. We are able to win, and we are able to move on with our lives, and we are able to grow as a person. And we are able to bring more positivity into our life in general. So just as an example, I'm actually going to share a personal story about getting over public speaking. I'm just going to go in a little bit more in depth and sort of what that looked like for me. So for me personally, when I was in 5th grade, we actually all had to give a history presentation on somebody in history. Well, I got Christopher Columbus, and let me tell you, I knew a lot about Christopher Columbus. That sort of era in history I fell in love with as a kid. I don't love it as much as anymore, considering the history that I was taught as a kid is not necessarily accurate, but that's not the point. But what is the point is that I knew a lot about this guy, and we all had to give a presentation, and my teacher gave me Christopher Columbus, knowing that I had shown an interest throughout the year. I then prepared for weeks writing a great 5th grade essay. It's not great by college standards, but it's a middle school essay. And so basically, when it came close to that time to sort of present, it was like my first time really ever doing it in front of a large classroom like that. And it scared me a lot as a child. Like, it genuinely frightened me. I was very scared. I think I even told my mom that I wanted to stay home from school. That was not the plan that my parents had. My parents' plan was, it was like, all right, well, you're going to have to at some point learn how to speak in front of other people. So instead, we kind of worked through that together. My parents taught me different skills, all those great things. And I was forced every day after school to sort of practice it either in front of my parents or just by myself and do it like 3 times a day. And I was working through it. And at first, I was super nervous. I was super anxious. I wasn't doing great the first few times. Let's be honest here, right? But the more I did it, the better that I got. And by the end, man, I did so great. I wish that I could still have it so I could read it out here and give a mini version of that presentation. That's where that started. And then by the end of middle school, I was already interested in news broadcasting. How did we get there? Well, like I said, it took practice, but what it really was simply just practicing those public speaking skills. And that's what's super important. You have to practice those skills. If we don't necessarily add extra oil, we don't tighten the screws, and we don't simply work on those sort of skills, they will fall back into the wayside, and at some point they become a fear again. Guess what? That is the complete opposite of what we want. Also, a little pro tip is that, yes, you want to make eye contact. If you're in sort of a big room setting, don't be afraid to look towards the back of the room, not necessarily making eye contact with somebody, but making it seem like you're making eye contact. That way you're just simply able to, not have to stare into people's eyes as you're speaking about a topic that you have been absolutely dreading maybe talking about, or overall you've just been absolutely stressed about. And overall, this is just sort of a strategy that you can use for almost any single fear. Just sort of practice those things that sort of make you scared, right? Whether if it's public speaking, talking to that girl, whatever it may be, getting over a fear of bugs. It's small things that we need to work towards to be able to sort of, by the end, create a sort of environment where we don't have that fear anymore. And like I said, we're always going to have some type of fear in the back of our mind. But what is important is that we are sort of breaking down any sort of small fears that come in our way that could interfere with our personal life, with our, business life, whatever it may be. Because at the end of the day, we are once again trying to create the perfect environment for us to grow and thrive. Anyways, boys, this has been Life Advice with Hunter, week 10. That is absolutely crazy to say. Once again, I just want to say thank you all so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. These videos mean an absolute lot to me, and it would mean even more to me if you could hit that subscribe button and press that like button. That way you won't miss out on a single video that we post. It also lets us know that you guys are enjoying the content. It also makes sure that other people on the platform are able to see the content. That way I'm able to continue to make this great content for you guys, and I really hope that you guys have been enjoying the content. As you guys know, that recently we started up Let's Plays on the channel. That is absolutely crazy, and we're just getting out more content, as much content as really possible for you guys. I'm putting in all types of time and effort into making sure that you guys have the most content possible and that you feel satisfied with what we're doing. Anyways, once again, I just want to say happy holidays to everybody. If you choose to celebrate, I really appreciate all of you so much. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your week. Make sure that you watch the Saturday video, and peace.